Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dan Reed with SCORE Maine. If you're unfamiliar with SCORE Maine, SCORE is a service provider affiliated with the Small Business Administration. We're a nonprofit where we provide one-on-one free small business mentoring with folks who have been in business before and they have experience and they're looking to give it back to their community. And we also provide small business workshops just like this one, where we gather folks who are experts in their field to come and talk about topics that are relevant to small business owners. And with that, I want to thank you for joining us. While you're with us today, please feel free at any time. You can open the chat function in the bottom panel. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and what you're hoping to learn today. And I want to say a huge thank you to KeyBank, who is a supporter of this workshop in particular, but of SCORE in general, and its support from organizations like that one that allow us to do these workshops for small business owners in the state of Maine. So thank you very much to Key. And I'm going to hand over this workshop to our two presenters to introduce themselves and get us started here.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, everybody who joined us today. My name is Alina Dubois, and I am a business banking relationship manager at KeyBank. And I work with business clients on educating how to run their business better and also how to protect themselves for those bad actors that unfortunately it's happening every single day. And unfortunately the evolving of the fraud and identity theft is just something that we wanted to make sure that we discuss and how to prevent that. So I look forward to go through this workshop with you today. I'll pass it over to Ali to introduce himself.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Alina. Thanks for all the participants. My name is Ali Manji. I'm the branch manager at KeyBank in Falmouth. I've been with the bank almost more than 7 years, and helping the small business clients to establish their relationship and also help them to protect their business and running the business in a better way. So thank you so much for joining us today to present about identity theft and fraud, which is really, as Alina mentioned, it's getting more and more, and we have that every day. So that's why we are here to give the awareness to protect you and your businesses. Thank you so much. We'll kick it back to Alina to start with the workshop goals. Alina.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali. So let's look at the agenda and the topics that we'll cover. So your identity is a valuable piece of information, and identity theft and identity fraud are fast-growing crimes. Some people may think that identity theft is what happens when someone steals your credit or debit. Actually, identity theft is much broader than that. It can involve someone impersonating you, using your personal information to open bank accounts, withdrawing money from your accounts, or even taking out loans on your names. So by the end of today's workshop, you'll be able to learn how to identify the signs of identity theft and fraud, examine different types of identity theft and fraud, identify strategies to protect yourself from identity theft and fraud, and learn how to protect your data using safe habits. So if, and again, we wanted this to be an open forum as well. So if any participants that have been a victim of fraud, or known anyone who has been victimized by identity theft, if you want to share some of the consequences that have been, so please feel free to utilize our chat and let us know if there's anything like this happen and what action has been taken. So let's, I would just say, whenever you experience or know someone who has a victim with identity theft, you can take steps to protect your own identity and report cases of theft, which we will explore later in this workshop. So let's test your knowledge on identity theft by taking a poll. So it is true or false. So if you can participate in the chat and let us know, what do you think, if it's either true or false. So the first one is, there's a victim of identity theft every 2 seconds, and you're more likely to have your identity stolen than have your car stolen or home burglarized.
A lot of truths in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. And again, both of the facts are true. Identity theft is more common and most of us think. We'll learn more about identity theft in this workshop, along with some ways that we can protect ourselves from this growing issue. All right, so to better understand how we put ourselves at risk, let's examine the difference between the two types of crimes. So identity theft and identity fraud are terms used to refer to all types of crime in which someone wrongfully obtains and uses another person's personal data in some way. Identity fraud occurs when, when someone's personal information is assessed, or even it's in use for financial gain. Unfortunately, identity fraud and identity theft can happen to anyone, but some people might be at risk more than others. And just the fact here that according to the U.S. Department of Justice, men and women are equal targets for identity theft. Adults over 60 are an increased risk for identity theft as well, and households with an annual income of $75,000 higher or greater risk. I will just pause and share something that just happened 2 weeks ago to my parents-in-law. They were a victim of fraud, and how that happened is they got a hold of their account information. Their information was, the bad actor were trying to take over their accounts. They were trying to set up, they got a hold of their account and routing number. They're trying to set up a automatic payment for their own credit card. And unfortunately, due to that, my parents-in-law had to change all bank accounts. They were able to file a police report and also waiting 90 days for the funds that are lost to recover. So it's a very important to protect yourself from those. And they've been spending hours and days of changing their bank accounts, changing their automatic payments. And obviously, since I'm their daughter-in-law, they called me how to take the next step for this not to happen. So it happens. It's not if it will happen, unfortunately, it's when. So protect, we hope that this workshop will help you to find ways to prevent those things happening ahead of time. So let's move to the next slide, Ali. And I'll pass it over to you here.
Thank you, Alina. Yeah, unfortunately, as Alina mentioned, the fraud is really getting more and more, and we need to find the ways how to protect everyone here. So when someone steals your identity to impersonate you, open new accounts, take out loans, and rack up debt, you can suffer long-lasting consequences. So these statements were collected during a survey by ID or Identity Theft Center, which asked victims of identity thieves about the consequences of the theft on their daily lives. So I lost out on a job opportunity. I couldn't qualify for a home loan. I had to rely on friends and family or for assistance. I had to request government assistance. I had to borrow money to help with expenses. I had to use my savings to pay my expenses. So identity theft can cost you time, money, reputation. Once your identity is stolen, depending on how many accounts and services you have, you will need to contact each bank, change each password, and notify all your credit card companies. This process may take you one day, or it could last for years, depending on how complex the identity theft was. And for businesses, really, it's a bit complicated. It's more complicated than that, because first of all, when you have any fraud on your account, on your business account, this is the cash flow that's running the business. And usually your bank will put restriction on the account, and that's going to be up to 90 days sometimes, and you will have no access to that cash flow you need. So that's why we really need to be aware about those things, and have the backup, and protect the business account from having this kind of fraud. And please stop me if you have any question, anything, you can send that in the chat, so we will be able to answer that. Okay, so how do I identify thieves? Use your identity. So make transaction, open new accounts, commit fraud, commit cyber crimes, get prescriptions, receive medical treatment. So there are many ways. So identity thefts may use your information to open a new account with credit card companies, financial institutions, or even services such as cable, telephone, utilities, and public benefits. So identity thieves may also use stolen identity information to make transactions on your existing account. The thief may use the card or account itself to make purchases and rack up debt. In case of identity theft, thieves may commit fraud by using your personal information to engage in criminal activities as well. They may, for example, present your identity as their own to police if they are caught doing something illegal, or they may use to commit cyber crimes as well. If your medical identity is stolen as well, thieves may use that to get prescriptions, visit medical professionals, or receive expensive treatment. This type of theft has a financial cost, but can also affect your medical history. And when identity thieves look to steal your identity, the first thing they need to find is your personal identifiable information, or P2. So personally identifying information is anything that is used to distinguish or identify you. Identifying information can fall into four main areas: biographical, medical, biometric, and financial. So my identity, let's say, all this data is from the basis of personally identifiable information. Let's start with the biographical data. So name, place of work, country, town, or city of residence. Relationship status, like family relationships, such as children and parents, family history. And the medical data is medical records, online medicine orders, prescriptions, hospital visits, and so on. Biometric data is face, eyes, voice, fingerprints. And the financial data is mobile payments, banks used, and credit card information. So really, frauds can do, or scammers can do many things with that. So we have to really be aware and be careful with that. I will pass that to Alina to continue with how that can happen. Alina.
Thank you, Ali. Many people don't realize how much of their information is actually out there. Identity thieves can impersonate you just by knowing your name and address, or they can gain access to your credit cards and again, your bank accounts, using more sophisticated tools. especially with AI these days. Depending on types of information you share on social media, they can even guess your passwords or answer to security questions. So there are many different kinds of personal information that thieves can steal your identity. So once that happen, they can be applied to your business. So important information is such your social security number, driver's license, passport, passwords, credit reports, marriage or divorce records, tax documents, bank account information, and email account can all be utilized. How would you identify tips getting a hold of your personal information? Let's look at some typical methods next. So you may think identity theft happens mostly online, but there are many non-technological methods thieves use to steal your identity. The most non-technological methods thieves use to access your data are theft, dumpster diving, shoulder surfing, and skimming. Many times, thieves use personal theft to steal your identity. They may steal your purse or your wallet from you, and then use that information in your wallet to steal your identity. Hopefully, you will not be a victim of theft, but in case that you are, it's important to keep in mind some precautions in case your personal property is stolen. Do not carry PIN numbers in your wallet or other passwords to access your accounts. Do not carry your social security card in your wallet. Only carry checks when you needed them. However, my recommendation is to not utilize checks if possible. The reason behind that, when you provide a check to any of your vendors, to anybody in the field, your account and routing number, it's right on the bottom. And when you think about sending that securely, that check, there's been cases that checks have been stolen from mailboxes, and the fraudsters and again, bad actors, they utilize special cleaning solution, and they are able to clean the pay number and the amount, and just having your signature on the bottom, there'll be enough for them to be able to write a new amount and a new payee, unfortunately. So the other thing that I would recommend is just all of this information. If you don't recognize the online site and that is asking for your information, minimize that and minimize issuing checks to people that you don't know. And again, you could think that most identity theft comes from personal theft, but identity theft also occur from that dumpster diving. So dumpster diving is when someone goes through your trash or recycle looking for discarded bills, pre-approved credit offers. We all get those in the mail, right? Or when you have documents that contain personal information about you. To discourage dumpster diving, make sure you completely shred any sensitive documents before tossing them. Choose a cross-cut shredder over a strip-cut one, because that makes it more difficult for thieves to piece documents back together. So the other piece, you can also go to your bank if you have any information, and you can ask them to help you to recycle that as well. Shoulder surfing is when thieves peek over your shoulder to record your entering sensitive information such as credit card number, passwords, or PIN. Always be aware of surrounding and cover your phone screen or ATM keypad when entering such information. Identity theft via mail occurs when thieves steal personal mail out of your mailbox. I mentioned before those checks that can be stolen. Another way thieves steal your mail is by rerouting it. Once they know your address, changing it is as easy as logging into the U.S. Postal Service's website and filling out an online form. Once the mail is redirected to an address by a thief, he or she can sort through your mail looking for valuable information. Identity thieves can also steal our information by using more low-tech scenarios, like going through your mail and opening your bills, even like those, right, discarded bills. They can access your name, address, even tax or medical information. It is important to keep those, again, shredding this documents. Identity thieves can also use method known as skimming to collect your information. Skimming occurs when a thief installs an illegal device known as a skimmer into gas pumps, ATMs, or credit card machine that capture your data. When you swipe your card into a skimmer, the device collects your information. To avoid having your card skimmed, look at the devices you're about to use and ensure there is no skimmer on. And again, the examples can be found online how that looks like. But also cover PIN pad when you inputting security codes at the ATMs. And try to maintain possession of your card and keep inside all the time. The other piece that I would just, since we are on this topic of the cards and utilizing that, our recommendations as bankers and being in banking for 11 years plus, we always utilize to talk to your bank about a credit card product instead of a debit card. And here's the reason, right? Like your debit card, it's linked to your checking account. They have direct funds access to your account. When you're utilizing a credit card, it is bank's money, right? That it's not attached to any of your information. So even if the fraud occurs with a credit card, it doesn't impact your day-to-day operational account. So something that to keep in mind, a credit card, it's a safer method. You're more secure to that. You also are secured by insurance of Visa or MasterCard as well. So that's something to keep in mind, utilizing that instead of your debit card, which is attached directly to your checking account. All right, so identity thieves can use many methods and again techniques to steal your identity. So I do see a question right here, so I will stop. Let me just go here.
Yeah, we had someone in the chat ask Venmo, Chime, or PayPal. Is that kind of the thing you're talking about?
So fraud can happen to any of those, as long as somebody gets a hold of your account. I always will PayPal. Actually, it is so if you utilize if you buy something online, PayPal, it's been actually proven to be a safe way. And in many cases, if there is a fraudulent activity, they are very responsive to cancel that. With Venmo, again, Venmo has access to your account and account and routing number. I know many people use Venmo, but I'll also caution you, who do you send that information? So move only money you need to make a payment for. I guess I need a little bit more of clarification of the question, Garrett.
I can give more information about Venmo or Cash App or anything like that. So usually those third party not certified with your bank, but I believe the only one third party is Zelle. That's usually attached or built in with your online banking with most of the banks in US. So I personally have some clients who they got some fraud through Cash App and also Venmo. So that's why we don't recommend our clients to use those unless it's certified by your bank. And you can see that through your online banking when you access your online banking through your bank.
Great answer, Ali. And if I understood the question correctly, so move only the money you need to make a payment for, is that you mean move it from an account, or I guess like Garrett, I need like move the money to make a payment for. Are you referring to your checking account? If you're looking to make a payment for a credit card from your checking account, no more than the payment is needed for supplies. Okay. Again, I would recommend to utilize again a credit card if the vendors don't accept credit cards and they are requiring an ACH or a wire or anything like that. And our recommendation will be make sure you talk to your bank. They offer fraud protection services, depending on what institutions do you utilize. There is options to set up a process. So each time somebody's trying to make a ACH transaction that you not recognize, you can always prevent that. So that's another solutions that I would recommend to talk to your bank, because there is things that you can put in place to avoid all of this to even happening. If you write a check, there is a solution that you can get notified if when a check gets tried to get cashed, and you can actually decision, is that a good check or not? So there is things that you can put in place ahead of time instead of waiting that to happen.
And I have Susan was asking about Zelle, if it is good or not. So I believe Zelle is certified by most of the banks in US. So while you can see that in your online banking when you access that, so it means it's better option than Venmo and Cash App. It's because it's certified by your bank, and that's why it's a better option. And as Alina mentioned, ask your bank for a fraud protection service, so that's gonna really protect your accounts. And also, Alina reminded me when she was talking about the checks. I really had a couple of months, one of my business clients, I just got an email from the fraud department saying they found one of their checks. It's for sale, and they put bid on it in the dark web. And I asked my business client, hey, what about this check? I got a copy of the check. So he said, hey, I sent this to pay for my vendor like 3 days ago by mail, and I sent it to a secure mailbox. I said, no, this check was found in the dark web, and they put bid on it. So all your information is already compromised. So we had to put the restriction on the account and open a new account. And it's a hassle for the business to change all the payments and all the receivables, on this account, and suddenly just stop it and start with a new account. So as Alina was mentioning, it's really recommended to minimize the writing checks and move to the digital transactions is much safer.
And if some vendors, right, we know that still are accepting only checks, just have that secured solution placed from your bank that it's a guaranteed that for some reason, if the check gets stolen, the bank it's responsible for if you have the fraud protection in place. So make sure that you're discussing that with your bank, that you have all the protection that it's needed. Really good questions. Thank you, everybody. Keep them coming. That's what we're here for. We wanted to make sure that we provide you as much of information that we can. All right. So again, right, like those identity thieves can use many methods and technique to steal our identity. But in general, common scams include phishing scams and telephone scams, and unfortunately, a lot of elder fraud scams. More sophisticated identity thieves may use technological methods to access your data. The most common method is known as phishing. Some of you have received phishing emails. For example, an email that appears to be from your bank but isn't. right? Like your bank would never email you to ask you for personal information. And if you receive something like that, just pick up the phone and call your banker. Also, phishing is when a scammer uses fraudulent emails or text or copycat websites to get you to share valuable information. The scammer may include requests from people pretending to be a friend or a family member or somebody who needs financial help. It also may be your vendor. So keep in mind, if you receive an email from a vendor, the email may look very, very similar. They're just changing a digit. And if they asking for you to wire money or something like that, pick up the phone and call your vendor and make sure that you are confirming that's an actually true request. Again, those happen via emails, and they can impersonate a company, right? Like, such as that you do business with, which I mentioned, your vendor, such as your bank or credit card company. Or they can reach out through an email to pretend that they are protecting you from a virus, right? That's another one, or malware allegedly detected on your computer. Telephone scams occur a variety of ways, whether it's a telemarketing calling you with a special limited time offered to people, impersonating government officials, banks, or credit card companies. One of the most common one that I personally received is, I owe money to the tolls, right? And that's something, right? Like, just don't click on any links that you get from your on your cell phone. Elder fraud scams are also common. The scams range from Medicare, health insurance scams, funeral and cemetery scams, power of attorney scams, and more. So again, this is something for you to be aware of. All right, let's talk about this common scams a little bit. So now that we know the thieves can gain access to data, let's look at the inner working of some common scams. Remember, are just some of the more common scams that are out there. We'll talk about some of this common scams. Let's begin with the phishing, which we talked about earlier. It's a scam where thieves pretend to be a legitimate company, tries to collect your personal information. Whenever you receive an email or text message by asking you to click on a link to reset your password, update the credit card information, or enter your social security number or other personal information, there are a few steps you can take to ensure email is authentic. So Ali, if you wanted to click through the number animated boxes, so they are red. So if you click on the missing, I'm a national bank. That's an example, right? So in the case of an email, check the email address it was sent from. Does it match the email address used by the company or bank if it's supposedly from? Look for subtle differences in spelling, right? Emails, address providers, or individual names. For example, if it's from a financial institution, make sure the email address says something like, right, like you'll see it right over there, an example. And so if it's John Doe at acmebank.com and not just John Doe at acmebank.com. So just check those, the language used in the greeting. How is the message addressed to you? For example, an email from trusted financial institution would more likely address you by name and not dear member or valued client, right? Like if you have a good relationship with your banker, you're gonna say your like dear member or they'll say your name on that. But again, every single time you receive an email and you don't feel comfortable, do not take action immediately. pick up the phone and contact your bank or your vendor. And again, check the language of the rest of the message. Is the language what you would expect from the sender, or it's overly formal, threatening, or too general? Is the message itself written poorly? Are there spelling errors in grammatical mistakes as well? Is the person asking for something unusual? This could be your social security number or a bank account number, or the person could be asking for a large sum of money to be wired, or wanting to share a large lottery or financial windfall. Usually this request will be time sensitive and will be very, very urgent. And according to the sender, right? Check before you click open any attachments or before you click on any links. Ask yourself if you're expecting any attachments from the sender, and examine the link name and the file extension carefully, as you could contain malware. And if there is any doubt about the legitimacy of the email, do not open any attachment. Again, if you have any doubt, contact your financial institution directly to ask about the possible phishing email, and taking the time to prevent a lot of future pain for you and for others. So, Susan, thank you. I see I have seen a product advertise a card pin reader blocker. It is legit. Ali, have you experienced any of that in the branch?
I have seen that there is a wallet just to protect from the skimming devices, you know. So I'm not sure. I didn't try them myself, but maybe it's working, like to block any other skimming device from reading or stealing the information. But at the end, when you use your debit card, and I mean when you swipe it or insert, so that's going to be a physical, you know, process, and then I believe that the information will be taken. Yeah, but there are some scammers. They use some devices, and once they move it just next to your wallet, then they can steal the information. But yeah, but when you use it, when you swipe or insert the card, I don't think there is something can protect or block that device from taking your information. I hope that was a good answer. I'm not sure if I covered that.
Yeah, Susan, I think if you know, just being aware where you utilize your card and your information. We see a lot, right? Like most of us we covered before, the gas station, or it can be anywhere, right? So it can happen anywhere, unfortunately, these days with the bad actors. So I would just talking about the card pin reader blocker, like, and again, I'll just say, just you try to utilize the credit card as many times as you can, just because again, it's not linked to your full account number and your funds.
Yeah, just be aware, even when you use the ATM of your bank, just be aware that everything is normal. Yeah, and there is no strange or something unusual on the ATM as well. So that's a recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, Ali, I'll pass it over for you for the next slide.
Absolutely. So there is an example for the phishing email activity. Like there is an email from Yahoo Mail saying, subject, change your password. Dear customer, we noticed that you sign in from a different computer. Please log in using this link to verify your password. And you can see that www.yahoo, which is 3 O's here, YAHOOO.com. So maybe for the first look, you will not see that. and then you will think this is from Yahoo Mail, you know. So if you do not verify this information within 24 hours, they are asking you, telling you that your account will be permanently deleted. So, and then you can see Yahoo, it's in the right spelling here, but in this email is not. So you need to examine this the phishing email and you know and read it in a better way. So the email address, a legitimate email would come from the organization, not an outside email client like Yahoo or Gmail. This is one thing. And they are talking about your account and the language, dear customer. So a legitimate email from an email service provide would likely address the user by his or her username. That's if they are sending you that specifically. And grammatical errors, such as we notice that you sign in and you account will be, it's not your account. They didn't say your account. So there are something missing here. And the link address is Yahoo with the extra O. That's another thing. Time sensitivity email provides often like setup timed emails for password reset. When they provide you with like this kind of dummy password, however, they will not permanently delete your account. So even the way of showing that is not the right way. So this is an example for the phishing email. So you have to be careful. Just read those kind of emails, especially if there is an email asking you to click on a link, you know. So this is really critical, because once you click on the link, if it is from a scammer and it's a phishing email, so they will take all the information that you are, if you are using your a desktop or laptop or phone, so all the information will be taken, including all the passwords and user IDs you use for all your accounts, including bank accounts. And the second type of scam is of the common scams is the phone scam here. So as example, saying, hello, Mrs. James, you are the lucky winner of the $1 million lottery. Congratulations. All you need to do is to verify your identity with your social security number. This is very common, really. And provide us with details of your bank account where we can wire you the money. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but if you act now, we should be able to waive all the taxes on the amount. I have all the paperwork with me right now, or right here. Let's start with your social security number. So they are asking for the social security number. So in these scenarios, scammers will call you or call any person and try to collect this information. So listen for the content. Do they talk about winning a lottery, sweepstakes, or contests that you never entered? So do they ask you to buy something to increase your chances, or do they offer a too good to be true prize? In these types of calls, the scammers want to get your credit card or other financial information as quickly as possible, because they are offering you, hey, this is a prize for you, so give me your social, let me confirm your identity, and also give me a bank account so I can give you or send you that prize. Listen for urgency. Do they pressure you to make a decision now, or offer to dramatically drop fees such as shipping or handling if you order immediately? So this is another thing, another red flag you can see. So these comments could be a sign of a scam. And again, if you have any question, please just throw that in the chat. So an example of phone scam as well. So hi, I'm friends with your nephew. He is in trouble with the law and needs your help. He got arrested last night and is now in jail. He needs bail money before he can be released. it's a long story, but he asked me to call you instead of his parents because he is embarrassed about what happened to him. He needs you to wire money in the next hour from Western Union. It's important that you send this money right now. So what do you think? Is this something legit? Maybe I have a nephew, right? Yes, and maybe it's the information is matching of what I have of my relative, but I still cannot believe in that. So most phone scammers are strangers who don't know the victim. However, some phone scammers will look up information about the victim's family or pretend to be a third party to appear more credible in their scams. But some scams artists may even be, like friends or even family. So let's learn more about that. The other common scam is the elder scam here. So we have seen the phone scams. They are often like used on scenario citizens. Now we will see another type, which is the elder scams here. So many seniors may own assets such as a house or a car, have retirement funds such as a 401k, or have other benefits that can make them attractive targets for identity thieves. And identity theft may be a stranger who tries to befriend a senior, a professional who may have access to the senior's home, or even a friend or family member. One of the more common ways in which thieves target seniors is by abusing a power of attorney. If you are a senior or the caretaker of a senior, be aware of anyone asking for your power of attorney. So seniors often may need increasing help with their everyday finance, including household and medical finances. They may grant a family member or close friend a power of attorney. An individual who is granted a power of attorney is legally bound to act in the senior best interest, but sometimes that individual does not. So let's look at the following scenario, which is here showing on the screen. So at 87, Mr. Ali lives alone in his house. His wife passed away 10 years ago, and his children live in a different state. Recently, he met a young man called Samir, who said he was Mr. Ali's long-lost nephew. Samir quickly moved into Mr. Ali's house and helped with his daily chores. Mr. Ali was so grateful that he agreed to give Samir power of attorney so that he could manage the house finances. So this is one of the really bad thing could happen to any elderly. So to start, Mr. Ali had never met Samir, despite the fact that Samir said he was his long-lost nephew. So Mr. Ali never requested proof to confirm the relationship. So the fact that Samir moved into Mr. Ali's house so quickly is also questionable behavior. Mr. Ali gives Samir power of attorney or POA, so now he can control all the finances. So this is really one of the bad examples for the elder fraud scam. And this is another scenario here, which is showing that. And there are different really scenarios for scammers. They are, especially now with the technology, and they can gather information about anyone, you know, and using the AI from those applications. So the other example here, Mrs. Garcia change in behavior and attitude. So Angela's purchases of an expensive car. So complaints about missing valuables. Angela plans to spend her aunt's money on expensive home remodels. So this is what can we see from this. So knowing how to spot a scam is an important skill. You can find out more details about scams and red flags. When we have a government website here called www.identitytheft.gov. So this information is also in your you can go and find all the other information which is not included in this presentation here or the slides. So please feel free if you have any question to ask, and I will pass this now to Alina.
Thank you, Ali. And I know it's a lot of information, right, that we are sharing right now, but we just wanted to make sure that you are aware of all the types of fraud that it's happening, right? You as a business owner or an individual, were to our loved ones, right? And like I mentioned before, it happened to my parents-in-law, and it can happen with everybody. So identity thieves target victims based on their available financial data, the ability to exploit. In this section, we'll look at some special types of identity theft you should be aware of. So children are growing target population among identity thieves, right? Children's personal information such as their name, home address, or social security numbers may be used by thieves to open accounts. And again, they can apply for and use credit cards or apply for social benefits again. How do they, how those bad actors get the information? They can access identification about children the same way as they do for adults, by discarding documents, online scams, phones stolen. Additionally, unfortunate scenarios exist such as families, friends who take advantage of the child's identity and put child's information at risk. If you receive a call regarding unpaid taxes or unpaid bills in your child's name, or you are turned down when applying for government benefits for your child, it might be a sign that the child's identity has been stolen. So try to request a free credit report from there's resources at www.annualcreditreport.com in your child's name to see what may come up. If your child is older, ask him or her to do so. As with yourself, be careful about identities that share your child's information. School, from kindergartens to college, when they collect that information. So just be cautious when you again provide that information on this. So I know we do have 5 minutes left and wanted to be respectful of everybody's time here, but wanted to go to the next slide, Ali, and kind of like red flags for identity theft. Just make sure that you monitor your accounts again. You can see them on the screen. Some of the unusual activity that you may see is, charges on the credit card or account, charges on, credit report. Something that I would recommend, if you're able to put a freeze on your credit bureau, that's something that we recommend as well. And again, making sure that you have all the things in place to prevent all of those things. And we'll move to the next slide. It's kind of like protecting against identity theft, some do's and don'ts, right? Do monitor your account and your credit report as well. Monitor your financial statements as well, and do secure important documents, and be aware of the surrounding as well. Some of the don'ts, right? Don't use a public Wi-Fi to receive or send sensitive documents, or online bank. Do not access, if you're a coffee shop somewhere and you wanted to check your balance on your account, be aware what type of Wi-Fi you are and where you are to open that. Again, don't click on unknown links. don't open suspicious attachments, and there's so many many ways to protect yourself against fraud and against also identity theft. So number one, I would just say always be aware, always check daily your account information, your transactions. Do not respond to the quick emails. And you know that it's been a real situation that it happened actually in Vermont. It is public. It's a large organization that received an email from their vendor. It looked very similar. Asked for a wire for, I believe it was like $3 million. The person actually who was the account overseeing, they went in and they sent that wire, and the company lost the $3 million. So do not, if somebody sends you an email asking for your information, please do not provide that. Call your bank, call your vendor always, and if that something does not look right, make sure that you are triple checking before you are taking actions on that. Ali, let's go to the next couple of slides. We talked about credit monitor services. We talked about identity monitoring services, credit or secure freeze, and obviously fraud alert.
Yeah. So we are at our time here. I just wanted to say thank you both for presenting today. I wanted to give, if there are any questions, I wanted to give our anyone who's attending a minute or two to see if they have any questions they would like to ask before we wrap up today. Yeah, thank you. As Susan says in the chat, thank you so much. This is incredibly helpful. One of the things that I saw you cover was one of the pressure tactics that they can sometimes use to put on folks. And my stepfather went through that, and we were very lucky that we stopped it before he passed along his financial information. But it's one of those things where there's so much pressure so quickly, it can very easily slip through the cracks for folks who aren't paying attention.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody who attended. Please feel free if there's anybody who has any questions. You can always feel free to reach out to us directly as well. We'll be happy to provide insights or more. There is a lot of information that we're trying to put in 1 hour, but we'll be more than happy to provide more resources through SCORE. And also you can reach out to us directly as well. We'll be happy to provide more resources if needed.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'll include Ali and Alina's emails in the follow-up. If you would like to reach out, please feel free to do so. I'm sure they'll be happy to speak with you. And I'll also include the recording and slide deck as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. If you are looking for a mentor, the easiest way to find one is score.org and click on Find a Mentor. With that, everyone, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.